Hey, City Groups, we just finished up week 1. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And I hope that you were encouraged and blessed by the service on Sunday. You know, it's not just for unsaved people, because I think we understand that saved people, you know, that's how we enter into the kingdom of heaven. But I think that's also how we live in the kingdom of heaven, where there's this continual dependence, not in the flesh or the kingdom of this world thinking, but in the dependence on Jesus Christ, and that's abiding in the vine. Without me, you can do nothing. And let's not disconnect after we get saved from the power source that we have in Jesus Christ. Here's a couple questions to get you going with your city group. Number 1, what does it mean to be poor in spirit? What does it mean to be poor in spirit? Okay, pretty straightforward question. Number 2, does this have anything to do with being physically poor, or maybe financially poor, if you think about this for a second? Before we go to question number 3, maybe this would be a funny thing. Maybe it's not appropriate for your group, but just what is the poorest thing you've ever done? And by that, I'm gonna say, I'm getting faces at me right now and asking, because I was just thinking about this story of when my wife and I first got married. And we were like flat broke on our honeymoon. I bounced the checkbook because we had a deposit for our new house, all this stuff. And so for this is back in check days when like you had to wait for this money to process, especially out of state checks. We had all this money from a wedding, but we weren't able to get access to it. And so we went to Burger King, we split a value meal, and we shared it together. And I told my wife, I said, I would not want to be going through this with anybody but you. And when I said that right at the table, my wife broke down, started crying, and she said these words: "I want my dad." For all these years, her dad had taken such good care of her. And here our first meal in our new house was splitting this one value meal at the Burger King. That's about what I think when I think about, when you think about the idea of poorness. But maybe that's not a great discussion for your group. I think it might be sort of a humorous discussion, unless your poor day was like yesterday, and then it probably isn't as funny as it would be 20 years from now. Anyway, moving on. Number 3, to what or who does spiritual brokenness give us access to? To what or to who does spiritual brokenness give us access to? And then here's maybe the major discussion of this is the word blessed means to be free from the daily cares and worries. How does poverty in spirit set you free from the daily cares and worries of this life? What does that look like in your everyday life when you're not wrestling? Hebrews says, labor to enter into the rest that we have in Jesus. What does it look like for someone? Some of you maybe were saved later in your life, and so you could really relate with this of going through life. I was saved when I was 12, so I don't have much reference for this, but some people that were saved later in life might be able to share and testify to the pressure, to the burden, to the guilt, to the weight spiritually that was carried through your life when you were on your own, when you were pretending to be rich. And then the relief that comes when we recognize, hey, I'm poor in spirit, I need help, I'm broke, I need a Savior, and that blessedness of Jesus and His kingdom pours into our life at salvation. So I hope these questions will be a help to you for some great discussion today. You have a great week.